This is the Louie Tee Network.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie Tee? Welcome to Lockdown Coverage. Your man Louie Tee covering the National Football League like a blanket. Week 3 in the National Football League. San Francisco 49ers taking on the Seattle Seahawks. A little bit of NFC West family business. You know how this goes. If these two teams said they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. And Seahawks handled a little family business the old-fashioned way, man. Took those boys out behind the shed and broke them off something proper real quick. This game was done by halftime. This game was officially over by the end of the third quarter. And as you already know, and if you don't, let me explain this to you. I don't do likes, dislikes, banana in the tailpipe for blowouts. I don't handle blowouts the same way I handle competitive football games. I do something a little different, and I'll tell you that in a second. But if you're new to this channel, welcome to the Louie Tee Network and subscribe to the channel, Louie Tee Network, for more content in 2016 and into the future, breaking this whole entire National Football League down, man, like no other. So subscribe to my YouTube channel, Louie Tee Network. I'm also on Twitter, @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead and give me a follow there. If you happen to be watching on the live feed on YouTube, use the hashtag #LouieTeeLive as well. If you're on Twitter, use the hashtag #LouieTeeLive to communicate with me. I will read your comment at the end of the breakdown. Also, I'm on Facebook. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. Go ahead, give me that thumbs up, man. Like the page. And let's jump into this breakdown. I don't break down blowouts the same way I do competitive football games. I don't give the same amount of energy into a blowout because the game didn't require that much energy. So why should I give that much energy? It doesn't make much sense to me. So what I do is something I like to call what I saw from afar. And so that's what I'm essentially going to do with this game. What I saw from afar. Okay? This game was 37-3 at the end or the beginning of the fourth quarter. Okay? A minute or two into the fourth quarter, Doug Baldwin scores a touchdown. First touchdown pass of the career of Trevon Boykin. And so at that point, it's 37-3. This is officially over. Russell Wilson was out. They didn't need him in this ball game after he had already destroyed them in the first half of this game. Let's quickly go over what I saw from afar in this game. Let's start with the 49ers. I feel bad for a couple of veterans because I was having a conversation with a fan of another team, and he said, man, I feel bad for the young players on the Browns. And I'm like, don't feel bad for the young guys. They're out there. They're happy to be playing, this game that they love, and they're getting paid, and they're at the highest level there is. They're just happy to be employed, man. Don't feel bad for the youngins. They're just fighting, scratching, clawing, trying to make an NFL roster and stay on the NFL roster. They want to get paid. Don't feel bad for those guys. Feel bad for the veterans that have been in this league, that know what it takes to win and know they don't have a chance in hell of winning. Feel bad for Joe Thomas on the Browns, a guy that's a Hall of Fame football player that's never seen winning a day in his career for the Cleveland Browns and probably will never see winning as if he finishes his career with the Browns. Feel bad for that guy. Feel bad for Navarro Bowman. Feel bad for Ahmad Brooks on the 49ers. These are guys that know what it feels like to win. They've seen the top of the mountain before. Haven't actually conquered the mountain, but they've gotten all the way to the top. They've been to a Super Bowl before. They've been to 3 NFC championship games. Feel bad for those guys because there's no happy ending for them. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. This 49ers team is bad. And they're out there playing their hearts out, making plays, and it's all for naught. It's all going in vain. Ahmad Brooks forces a couple of good plays only to give up a third down conversion because his teammates can't get off the field. Make a play and get off the field. You got Navarro Bowman out there jumping over Jimmy Graham's back and poking the football free, forcing a fumble, only to watch them go and bog down. You gave it to him at literally the 25-yard line. Watch him go 7 yards and have to kick a field goal. It's tough, man. Feel bad for those guys. Carlos Hyde is good. Man, Carlos Hyde broke off a nice little run in the fourth quarter, got over 100 yards in this game. Carlos Hyde, when healthy, he's really good. And if this team had an actual quarterback, he'd be really good because in Chip Kelly's scheme, the running back is the one that benefits from the quarterback play. And Carlos Hyde would be actually better off if they could just find a way to get somebody in there better than Blaine Gabbert, who actually stinks really bad. And I remember before this season started how everybody was talking about, oh, Chip Kelly loves Blaine Gabbert. The 49ers, they believe in him. He won some games at the end of the season. He might not be all that bad. Look out for the 49ers. Yeah, right. Blaine Gabbert stinks. Russ, let's get to the biggest issue offensively for this 49ers team outside of Blaine Gabbert and his struggles is the fact that this team leads the league in 3 and outs. They can't sustain offense. If they're not making a big play, then they're struggling offensively. And that's a problem. And they came into this game leading the league in 3 and outs, and I'm pretty sure they left the game leading the league in 3 and outs because there were a bunch of 3 and outs in this game as well. And they struggle to consistently put together drives. And I thought that the word that was used, the phrase that was used in this game, repetitive accuracy, I've been hearing that a lot lately, is the term that I think Blaine Gabbert struggles with the most, and that's repetitive accuracy. Throwing the football accurately over and 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 over again. And he doesn't do that. And that's how you find yourself punting on third down, because you get into 3rd and 6 and you need an accurate pass and the football's behind your receiver. You need an accurate pass and it's too high and your receiver's getting clubbed like Selleck did because the ball was too high. He goes up to go get it and Cam Chancellor nearly breaks his back in half. That's the problem. You need a more accurate quarterback, and you need an athletic quarterback that can make things happen with his legs. Blaine Gabbert doesn't fit that. Even though he's athletic and he can move, he's not dynamic. He's not dynamic as a thrower. He's not dynamic as a runner. He's not dynamic at all. And in Chip Kelly's scheme, he needs a quarterback that can be dynamic in some aspect of the game at the quarterback position, and they don't have that in San Francisco right now. And really, to be honest with you, their skill guys are lacking. Outside of Carlos Hyde, they don't have anybody that scares me. Okay? Vance McDonald made a good play against Carolina, but he's inconsistent. Their receivers, they stink. You got one deep threat in Torrey Smith, but that's all he is. He's a one-trick pony. Doesn't do anything else. They're hurting right now. They don't have, and I told you I didn't like their draft. It's a lot of bad going on in San Francisco, and they're still bickering over personnel in San Francisco. New head coach, doesn't matter. They're still bickering over personnel. Chip wants to keep Kaepernick, and the GM, Trent Baalke, wants to get rid of him. They're still arguing over personnel, and there's not enough good football players on this team. End of discussion. Let's go on to the Seahawks in this game. They started fast in this game. They got off to a quick, fast, and in a hurry start. 43 seconds into the game, they were already in the end zone. Big ball down the sideline on a wheel route or rail route. We called it a wheel route when we used to run it. Down the sideline to Doug Ball. When he catches it, gets a big gainer off, and he had a hell of a day. That started off his day. And then Christine Michael burst off a big run, gets into the end zone. He's my next what I saw from afar in this game. He looked explosive and dynamic as a runner in this game. Man, did he look good. That first run for a touchdown, those early runs, man, he looked dynamic and explosive. If he can continue to do that, they have themselves a nasty 1-2 punch when they finally get Thomas Rawls back into the fray at the running back position. Really like what I saw out of Christine Michael in this ball game. Doug Baldwin was freaky in this game. Made a nasty one-handed diving grab. Made a bunch of big catches down the field. Was over 100 yards receiving in this game. If he can continue to do that, and I think he's very underrated as a receiver. We keep saying that. He needs to get the respect he deserves. He's a big-time receiver in this league. If he continues to play this way, and they can finally integrate Jimmy Graham. We've been talking about this for 2 years now. Integrating Jimmy Graham into this offense. Really, the tight end position needs to be a bigger part of this offense. If Luke Wilson and Jimmy Graham can become bigger parts of this offense, this could be a very dynamic Seattle Seahawks offense. But they need to integrate Jimmy Graham better. You're spending money on this guy. He's a big-time player in this league. Get him the football. If him and Russell Wilson can get on the same page, they can make some beautiful music together. That could be a scary combination in conjunction with Doug Baldwin. I think Tyler Lockett needs more touches as well. This offense has players that can be dynamic. And Paul Richardson is a guy that can take the top off of a defense. They need to figure out ways to get these guys involved in their own unique, special ways and start making this offense one to be feared around the league, not one that's barely scraping together 3 points versus the Los Angeles Rams. This is more along the lines of what you want to see from the Seattle Seahawks. 37 points. They have the capability to do this on a consistent basis. We saw this at the end of last season. They can score points when this offense gets humming and gets going. They need to be more consistent, however. That Russell Wilson injury, little scary. Good to know that he's feeling good. He's in good spirits. He should be fine. But at the time, it looked a little dicey. I thought ankle and knee were in jeopardy when he first went down. Good to see him come back and then leave the game because they were up by so much and go ahead and start the healing process because it's going to swell up. You're going to have all of those things happen, whether it be the ankle or the knee. Good to know that it's nothing serious and that he may be able to play next week because they're going to need him. He's a big part of what they do. And more importantly, behind him, there isn't a lot of experience and guys you want to put on the field. Trevon Boykin is not ready to play at this level. You do not want to put him in the game if you do not have to. So that was essentially what I saw from afar, man. 37-3 at one point in the fourth quarter. It eventually got to 37-18. This was total dominance from start to finish. Seahawks get it done, go to 2-1 on the season. That was a big win for them. They needed to get back on track after losing last week to the Rams in ugly fashion, 9-3. So this was a nice get-back game, get you a win in the division. Now if you're the Seahawks, got to start strapping it up. Got some tough games coming up ahead. Got to be able to get some W's if you are the Seattle Seahawks against some much tougher opponents than the San Francisco 49ers. So big win for the Seahawks. They took care of business, 37-18, get to 2-1 on the season. Meanwhile, 49ers dropped this one. Dropped to 1-2 on the season. This is not a good football team. They're going to lose a bunch more games. And like I said, at some point, Colin Kaepernick is going to get into the starting lineup, even though I don't know if he fixes any of the problems because he doesn't look that dynamic right now and doesn't look as sure and confident at the quarterback position as he once was. I think he's lost as a quarterback as well. So I don't think the guy of the future at the quarterback position is on this football team as we speak. They're going to struggle this year because the quarterback position is not dynamic enough for this offense to function and run as smoothly as it could. They need a quarterback at the helm that could get that done, and they don't currently have that guy on their roster. Let's see if you guys have any comments. And you do. Andrew Kim says, I've heard Gabbert's starting job is numbered. Would you be surprised if we see Kaepernick in a week or two? Nope. I already heard the rumblings and grumblings happening. He won't start this upcoming week, but if Gabbert has another one of these stinkers, 14-25, 119 yards and an interception, he puts up another lackluster performance like that, his job will be in jeopardy sooner rather than later. I'll give him another 2 weeks before they really consider sitting him down and putting in Colin Kaepernick. But again, I don't know if that really solves your problems or not. I don't think Kaepernick mentally is where he needs to be to help this team at the quarterback position. And this has nothing to do with his protests or none of him speaking out against injustices. This is just strictly on the field. He hasn't been good. When he's been in, he's been erratic as a passer. His delivery is too slow for Chip Kelly's offense, and I don't think he's as sure as he used to be as a runner either. And so the confidence is what he's lacking, which is what he used to have when he was at his peak. He didn't have that right now, so I think he's going to continue to struggle. Blackbird Blitz says, which division in the National Football League has the best starting quarterback top to bottom? I think it's the NFC South has the best, no bums. That would probably be the best division top to bottom. Saints, Panthers, Bucks, Falcons. Yeah, there are no bums in there for sure. I think that's the only. Let's run through the divisions quickly. NFC East, you got a couple of rookies. They don't count. NFC South, we just named them. NFC North, Packers. Yeah, Cutler stinks. NFC West, Cardinals. Yep, they got a couple of stinkers in there in the Rams and the 49ers. Let's go to the AFC. AFC East, no. AFC West, Carr, Smith, Broncos situation looks pretty solid right now. And Chargers. Chargers could give you a run for your money, but because Simeon is such a young quarterback, I think that's the one that would allow them to be ruled out. Let's go to the NFC or AFC South. No way. NFC North. Browns kill that division. So, yeah, top to bottom, it'd be the NFC South for sure because every single quarterback in that division is a good quarterback in this league. So, that'll do it for lockdown coverage of the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. Come back and join your man Louie Tee as I continue to break down everything and everything in the National Football League. Got a couple more games to break down. Chargers, Colts, and also, I believe I got one more after that. Don't quote me on that one, but I know I've got at least one more in the bank that I got to break down. I think I got two, though. Jets and Chiefs as well. So I'll be back with those two games. And then, of course, Monday Night Football overtime much later on, Saints and Falcons. I'll see you in a bit. Remember, we're changing the game one live feed at a time. I will see you guys a little bit later on.